Hello, and welcome to the Chew on This podcast. This is our very first episode, and I'm super excited to have this very special first episode with a very dear friend of mine. She is a wonderful indie streamer, is part of a bunch of nonprofits and very special communities that I'm also a part of and have been friends with for a very long time. This is Indiebyrd. I hope that you all go give her a follow at her Twitch account, all of her socials. Please show her some love. And without further ado, this is our interview. Hello, this is a little bit of a long time coming, and I'm really excited to talk to you. You are Julia, also known as Indiebyrd, and I wanted to ask, is there an origin to your name? Is there like a reason why you call yourself Indiebyrd?
I wish I had like an epic answer, but I've actually had that moniker for a long time. When I was younger, I was really into indie music. Like I was like in the scene. I would always go to like a band that's local or like a small band, in the scene. Like think like Sub Pop Records, like when they first started and all that kind of stuff. So my one friend was like, "Oh yeah, you like all this indie stuff, and you even dress indie," because back then it was cool to dress indie, and I like birds. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'll just combine the two. But I couldn't do like the normal spelling only because, it was taken. It's like a common thing back then.
Sure.
So I did it with a Y, and it actually doubled really nicely because I do like the band The Birds. So I don't know. It just has like this little. Yeah, it's like it wasn't on purpose. Basically, it was just like, okay, well, there's no I, so I'll use Y instead. And then I kind of kept it through a bunch of socials, like, MySpace and all this stuff, and then kind of carried over as an adult. But now it's good because I'm still into independent stuff and supporting small artists, small streamers now.
Yeah.
So it worked out because because like a lot of my channel, I actually play indies. So
well, that's actually the reason why I thought you called yourself that. So that's completely different from what I was even thinking. That's pretty awesome.
I've had that name like probably since I was 19, 20, and I just turned 38. So
I can't believe that.
It's the Mexican Italian genes. We're vampires. Just watch From Dusk Till Dawn. It's right there. Selma Hayek.
I love that movie.
It's so good.
So to start off, I wanted to actually send you a photo of my result of what you sent me, and so you sent me two recipes. One was for the enchilada, the ground beef enchiladas, and then the other one was the authentic Mexican pozole. And I tried the pozole. I sent you a photo of what was going on in progress, but I have to tell you a quick story about it. I looked at the recipe, and it said 1.5 pounds of pork shoulder. But when I went to the store, I didn't read it correctly, and I read it as 11.5 pounds of pork shoulder. So I ended up making 11.5 pounds of pork shoulder, and my fridge is now filled with pozole.
Oh my gosh, bring it to work. People like share the wealth. Like, hey, I have all this soup. People eat soup. It's such a simple soup, but like, especially when you add toppings, but there's something so cozy about it.
Yeah.
And if you ask any, Mexican person or in general a Latina, like it's something that you would do every Sunday. Your family either made like menudo, they made pozole, and you would eat like these giant bowls of soup and throw some chips on it, cabbage, whatever you want, and it just shows you that like simple 5 to 8 ingredient thing could be like the best thing and like trigger memories even for families, get-togethers and stuff like that.
I heard it was also really good for like holidays and stuff too.
Yeah.
Is that where you kind of have a memory of having that with family, or?
My great grandmother would always cook. Like she was from Mexico.
Okay.
Don't ask me what village. I don't remember what village. But like whenever we would go to her house, she would always like be making something like, pozole, menudo. She made really good spaghetti. I know it's weird because we're Mexican, but like she made a really good sauce.
Hey, spaghetti's fun. It tastes good.
I'll never know the recipe because the problem is that I was not taught how to cook growing up. I had to learn how to cook by myself when I was an adult
Oh,
because I
I
was taking
see.
care of because I was taking care of my family at the time, probably like early 20s. And my dad was military, so like when I was helping out around that time, he was out to sea. My mom did not know how to cook. Like she was the like rest her soul, like she was the worst cook. And so like eventually I was helping with my siblings and I'm like, well, let me pick up a cookbook. I guess I will just follow the
Yeah.
recipe and learn as I go. Now I love cooking. I almost went to school for cooking.
Oh, really?
But
That's awesome.
but so when I moved to New York officially and stuff like that, I miss Mexican food. I'm from Southern California and I'm also Mexican. So like there are no flavors like this. There are many other wonderful Latin foods. Like there's tons of like good like Puerto Rican food and Dominican and like other I don't want to say branches of Latin cultures, but like
Sure.
they're so good, but like not like not like Mexican from Mexico. So there's a couple places I found in my area that's like, okay, cool. Like they're from Mexico, they are Southern California, Arizona, they get it. But when I
Right.
want to make it at home, it's like, okay, well, I had to like try so many recipes. So when I found the enchiladas, the pozole, even the garnitas at one point, and I don't have a grill, so I had to figure out how to do that. I was able to recreate a lot of the things that I missed about home, because I can't just like walk down the street and get a burrito. Like, I mean, I could go get a burrito, but it's
It's not the
also from
same.
like, it's not the same. So finding these recipes, and I've tweaked them over the years, even. It's been really nice, and it's been nice because my love language, one of them is food, and I love to feed people. So whenever I've hosted, I'm like, hey, I'm making a lot of food. Please come with an appetite. And this is something I had when I was younger and grew up with this. So, but yeah, but I just wanted to have that feeling of home and I wanted to share it. And I don't have like a specific memory because like she would just make tons of food. So it was very much like in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, where Mrs. Claus has "Eat, Papa, eat." That was very, and then, well, now that I know that I'm Mexican Italian, it makes sense. I like to, I'm from both, I made up of both cultures that love to feed people. So
I
it was
understand that
really nice.
completely.
Yeah, it's like so nice finding them. And like I said, I tweak them. I like make all the fixings on it. But yeah, it's just like a feeling of love through food. I don't want to say I'm a kitchen witch, but like there's something about how magical it is watching like, 5 to 20 of your friends in the same room and you're the last one to eat and it's okay because you want to watch everybody else enjoy your food.
No, I understand that
Yeah.
completely. It's nice to make food for people that you care about, and it resonates with me the fact that you have like that as a love language. I do that for the people that I care about, and it's fulfilling, and it's filling. It's chicken soup for the soul, essentially,
Yeah.
for me. I think that's the best way that I can think of to describe it right now in no ironic term. So the one that you sent me, the recipes themselves, did they come from just like a website, and then you like found your own way to make that to make it feel like home? Is that kind of what
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah, pretty much because you can go on the internet and find so many things, but
Sure.
I have a really good palate. So like if I like taste something, like I'll sit there and I'll be like, is that cumin? Is that this? Is that like I'm no expert, but like whenever I go to a restaurant, for example, and I don't I try not to be critical when I go to like a Mexican restaurant, but I'm always like, oh, this sauce tastes like a can. Like I can tell the difference between
Right.
like a homemade sauce or not. And it's not bad. Like I'll eat the canned stuff, but like whenever I go to a restaurant and I taste like, oh, they use ancho chilies. Oh, they use poblano. Like I'll sit there. I'll be like, I'll ask them. I'm like, I'm just curious. Do you have an even spicier mole or like something like? It's not because I don't like what they gave me, but I'm always like, do you have a spicier hot sauce? Wink, wink. Like, because I live in an area that's like very very white,
Yeah.
very very gentrified, and it's just like it's not a bad thing. I'm not going to sit here and say like I won't eat the food. Yes,
It's
but
just different, and
it's just different. And so whenever I go, like there's one restaurant that actually like does like gives you the hot sauce, like the good stuff, the stuff that will burn your butt because that's what it does. But it's so good going in your mouth. You don't care how you're gonna feel 3 hours from now. But but sometimes I go to them and I'm like, oh, this is a pico. All right. Do you have a red sauce? Please tell me you have a red sauce. But it's just different, and it's so cool because they like know. They kind of look at you. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, you want that? And I'm like, yes, please.
They know
I
exactly
want
what
spicy.
you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, and that's the part of the reason why I am learning, even as I get older. Like I'm still looking for new stuff to try. Like I make flautas now, and you can go to the restaurants or I don't know, fast food place and get them, $12 for like five. I can make 25 of them for less than that because it's just tortillas and chicken.
Yeah.
And you fry it perfectly. It's all about the frying. You don't want to over fry it. You want the chicken to be flavored. Like there's simple ingredients. It's just like the pozole. You have to make it a handful of times, and then you're like, okay, it's perfect.
I'm
always
sure.
tracking,
I am sure that the way that I made it is completely different than what you have imagined it, because
No,
I didn't know what I was
did
doing.
Good. Yeah, and it's the first time, but I bet you if you tweak it, like, okay, I want more cumin, or I want more of this, more of that. Because
Mhm.
what I do sometimes with the meat, I actually got confused with what I gave you because I thought I gave you garnitas at first, and I'm like, what do you mean you didn't do this? Did you add the orange? And then I was like, oh no, I didn't do that for you. I did something else. Because honestly, I use pork butt for the garnitas too because
Sure.
the meat is a little bit tougher. And so, like for example, like for that one, I'll throw like orange and onion and garlic and cinnamon and like it's like a thing is in a crock pot after you
Sure.
yeah. So I thought about to myself, I'm like, I should have told him to make that one. But then afterwards, like, no, he did it right. He did it right. And I feel bad because I should have told you to get pork butt instead, because pork shoulder is not bad. It's a little bit more tender.
Yeah.
Where the pork butt, it's a little bit more sturdy. So then when it dissolves, it holds together a little bit better. So you're not dissolving. So you're not,
Right. I mean, I think that it turned out the best way that I think I could have made it because I screwed up so much because I made the whole pork shoulder, so I had to I added more chicken stock, I added more vegetables than I was thinking that I would. I had added more jalapenos inside the actual broth. Do you typically do that, or do you add it as like a topping?
I do topping.
You do topping? Oh okay.
Yeah. But that's okay. And I was gonna say another thing is that it's a base soup, because you have to think in Mexico there are different things available, so like different vegetables, different fruits, different everything. But like a
Sure.
lot of the recipes are based. They're just like a couple chilies, a couple seasonings, and some broth. For example, it's not always
Sure.
like as fancy as it is. So if you think about it, if you're in a village, they're limited to their supplies, but they have like hominy, water and a couple spices and the meat. Boom, you have a soup. And then as you go along, oh, the cabbage is in season. Bam, cabbage. Let's top it with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like we have to think of food also of where they came from, what resources they have. So to me, I think it's simple, but then I have to remember, I'm like, oh no, people add stuff to it. So and then I think back of like how it was back then. So then I was worried I steered you wrong, but you made the best of what you did. And also cooking is great because it's not like baking. It's not a precise science.
Right.
So you did the best with your knowledge of your already awesome cooking skills. Like, okay, well, now I have to add more water because I have more meat and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So,
exactly. And it's all trial and error. And that's the thing. If I get it completely wrong, I know that I can go back again and I can try it and I can do better, and I can always make it better than the previous batch of food that I've made. Gonna cut you off just for a second. I want to get your opinion on what I am what I sent you and what I'm sending you. So I sent you a photo. That is how much meat I actually put inside the
Okay.
so that is not inside the actual stock pot. That is all
Right.
the meat that I put inside. It is a pan. It's a big
Yeah,
pan.
yeah.
I put the hominy in it. I put more water and stock in
Yeah.
there to kind of get the pork shoulder more cooked more evenly, because when it was in there for 45 minutes to about an hour, the inside wasn't getting cooked. The outside was. I
Right.
took it out, cut it into about an inch and a half thick cubes, and it was just a bunch of meat. Oh my gosh, I was
Yeah,
not
I
ready
mean,
for that.
yeah, I mean, obviously you got the bigger piece of meat. So, and that's not again trial and error. That looks more like a stew, which is basically like depending how who makes it. And you have to remember families. Families make everything different. So
Right.
somebody could make it with more meat than hominy. We liked well, a lot. We liked hominy in our house.
Okay.
So like we always had like a little extra hominy. But you have to remember that hominy is un it's
Unhomogenized.
yeah, unhomogenized. I don't use that word very frequently in my vernacular, so sorry.
No, it's
I
okay.
promise you I know words. So also it's a type of corn, and if you put corn in anything, it soaks and water expands.
Hmm.
So you also have to like be careful with like when you add stuff, because then you have to like work it out. But again, it's trial and error. When I make chili, I like my chili a little soupy, so I add a little bit more broth, for example.
Sure.
So in this case, you were doing exactly that. You were just trying to find the balance. I would still eat it. It looks really fantastic.
It turned out great. I just
Yeah.
sent you a photo. This is what it looks like with all the toppings,
Oh,
and
it
I
looks so
added.
good.
It was really good. I added lime, lemon, cilantro, and the radishes. The
Yeah.
radishes were tasty. Gave it a little bit more of a crunch when I had
Yeah.
the soup or
They also
the pozole. It was really good.
they also cut the spice. So if you wanted to add like a salsa, like
Hmm.
a Cholula or your own kind of like red sauce. You can always mix it in with that too. We would
Sure.
just use the red chili flakes because it was the texture was nice and it would actually add a little kick to it. But the radishes were always the thing because um, radishes and cucumber. We have cucumber on the side too. So if you made your pozole spicy, the cucumber's coolness with your tongue, it made the difference too. Because I like to add a lot of chili flakes to mine. So
I think that's a little bit of a
yeah,
difference between you and me. I'm not I enjoy a little bit of spice. I'm not a
yeah,
huge spice person, and I was worried. I was worried from the start that I would make it too spicy, but I put all the jalapenos in. I put all the chilies, and I used all the spices, the cayenne pepper,
yeah.
or I mean, not cayenne pepper, but there's
That recipe had like a pinch of something. Again, I alter
yeah,
it too, like you know what I mean, the cumin and all that stuff.
but
It looks fantastic.
thank you. I did my
Yeah.
best. So I want to back up just a little bit to talking about your move from Southern California to New York. Were you there when the big winter thing happened in 2022, or did you move more recently? Uh,
Oh no, I've been here for almost 20 years.
oh shoot.
Yeah, yeah. It's fine. I won't get into it too much. A lot of it is like trauma dumping, to be honest with you. Just basically
Oh yeah,
narcissistic family and had the opportunity to move out here to get away from it.
sure.
It's not like it's like a whole to do. It's just sometimes I think I just turned 19. So when stuff happened, it's just when you're raised in a family where one, you're the oldest and you are seen as the perfect child, you are seen as following directions, doing everything that you're told to do. My mother had me young, so I was kind of raised between my grandmother and my mother, and I was basically like the divorced child because they
Hmm.
both, well, more or less, her mother fought over me a lot. And when you're a kid, you don't really pick up on a lot of that until much later when you're older and you kind of understand like how the world is and the things that you don't want to be controlled, to be told what to do, to go to what school they want, to do what field they want, to do everything because they did everything for you, so you owe that person. So like
Yeah.
once you get kind of older, you realize like, oh, yeah, this isn't for me. And it's really hard being fresh out of high school, not really having opportunities to think for yourself. And then when you make a decision for yourself, you're the scapegoat. You're the bad person. So yeah, like the first part of like my 20s was rough because I had to deal with a lot of family stuff. My best friend, my grandfather died. He was one of the people that kind of understood me the most. And then I'm like, oh great, I'm all by myself. Like
Oh, I see.
everyone's against me. You know what I mean? So it's been like an evolution of breaking the cycle of people pleasing and um finally finding who you are, which is why I always tell people that your 30s are fabulous. Like your 20s are messed up. You don't know what you want. You're expected to know what you want. And then when
Right.
life happens and you're at your lowest lows, it's like no one's there to catch you because they're like, well, you're an adult now. Figure it out, especially when you don't have the support of your family. And there's only so much that your friends can do because they're not going to, help you out with like financial situations and mental health is like really hard too. So it's been like an evolution of self-discovery up until like my mid 30s and I'm like now I'm so sure of myself now that I was 15 years ago. And
That's awesome.
um, but if I didn't leave California, I probably would have just married the first person that would have, taken me, probably had 5 kids because like I didn't have any self-worth back then, you know what I mean? Like so it's just like it's interesting how society wants you to figure out your life by 25, but like in reality in this day and age, like no one knows what they're doing by 25. I still consider 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds like babies, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like I try to talk to them and I'm like I don't know what you think that life is like, but 30s is not old. Like, you guys are figuring it out, you know? So, but having that, I think not having it rough like I did, probably wouldn't have, I probably wouldn't have appreciated what I have now. Just, stability, no chaos, only in stream. Just, you know what I mean? Like, appreciate what I have. And even when my mom was on her deathbed, we had like a what felt like a 12-hour conversation, more like an 8-hour conversation about burying the hatchet. Like I felt so like the most peace I've ever felt before because all the hang-ups that I had with her and she had with me and it just worked out. I still don't talk to her mother for reasons. Again, I'm not going to trauma dump,
Sure, no worries.
um, but it's always good to stand up for yourself and just stick to your guns, even if it hurts your relatives. And nobody wants to be controlled. I don't care if it's blood. Like whenever people are saying, "Oh, well, they're your relative," it's like, well, then they need to be nice to me, or they need to hear me out, or they need to figure out what's going on. I don't know.
Right.
But it's one thing that you don't really discover until you're older. And now I don't let people push me around. Now I speak my mind, and if you're upset with me and you don't like a decision, then obviously our paths aren't meant to continue from here. So I'm sorry, like, you know. So,
I love that
but
for
coming,
you though. That's really
yeah.
really awesome that you've found that. I am almost 30. I'm getting up there and I feel like I've had fewer experiences than someone that's 24 or 20, 25. I'm still trying to figure out my path, and it's really awesome that knowing that it still is possible and it takes time is a really good thing to look forward to.
I think it's mostly just the society puts the pressures of everything. And honestly, with like, not to get too political, but like with this economy, with the way life is structured and the way that our society is, like,
Yeah,
we can't do anything that we could have even back when I was 18. Like, us millennials, we've lived through how many recessions? 9/11, like all this stuff. Like we have seen so much stuff and everything that we were told to do when we were 18, and we could barely achieve it. And now we're in our late 30s and 40s discovering, wow, this is what we want to do to be happy, not work in corporate America.
yeah,
Now it's like, now we're the problem. It's like, well, sorry, we're choosing quality of life over, the traditional sense of working for 50 years and then amounting to nothing. Like if I'm gonna be poor 45 years from now, at least I can go back and say, "Hey man, do you remember when was that sweet concert for my 40th birthday? Yeah, that was fun. I live life, you know?"
Right. No, I
And it
get that
sucks. Like
completely.
obviously you still have to find out what to do at least to be stable and like survive and have food on
Sure.
the table and stuff like that. But when it comes to achieving happiness, I think a lot of us are discovering the things that we wanted to do but we didn't get to do because we were told to get a job and get a house and all this stuff, you know?
Yeah, I understand completely.
So so I mean, I always put out the message when people start saying, "Oh, I'm old. I'm gonna be 30." I'm like, "Nah, I promise you. By the time you're 35, you're gonna be like, man, life is sweet right now." Like, not to say I didn't have fun in my 20s. Like, I did stuff, but like the random call at like 3 a.m. because something's going on in my family and I had to drop everything to go take care of them. It's just like, ugh, you
You
know.
don't miss
And
that.
I don't really miss that part of my 20s, but um, it's just interesting. So whoever's listening, if you are in your late 20s, do not fret. It gets better. It gets even better. Even if you're having a great decade being your 20s, it's going to get more sweeter in your 30s. And I can't wait to see what 40s brings me in a couple of years because I feel like I'm going to be hotter and wiser and more successful. It's called manifesting, sweetie.
So let's get into some of these topics I wanted to talk about, and I one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you is because of how much you're doing in various spaces. You have a lot of really cool things going on. Not only are you working with all these companies like Hot Topic and you said G Fuel as well. Not just that, but you're also in Stream for a Cause. You're also in the excuse me,
Days for games. Oh,
Dames
it's okay.
for Games and the little cabin of cozies. I had it written down. That was the one I was trying to
No,
think
it's
of,
okay.
and I thought I had it here, and it's gone, and it just popped out of my
That's a,
brain. But
you're
you're
doing great.
Stream for a Cause, Dames for Games, and also Little Cabin of Cozies. You have a lot of leadership roles in these spaces, and I want to know like how has that been for you in the last the amount of time that you've worked with them and
Oh, it's been great. It's been very humbling. As you know, as yourself, you are a content creator. It gets a little, you know, a little frustrating because you don't know if you're doing well. You don't know if you're making the impact you want. And being a part of all of these programs, like I know I don't want to sound like it's all about me because I do the charity work because I want to help people. Because I mean, my platform maybe is small, but at least I have a platform to speak up for people that don't have voices. And, but it's also just reassuring as a content creator, streamer, whatever. Also, like, wow, I'm doing a good job. Like, people are listening to me, and that is the feeling that I take from a lot of this. Like it's great to have the brands, affiliations and stuff like that.
sure.
But when I do the charity work, though, really it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm making a difference in the world. Um, because a lot of people can't speak right now. A lot, especially in the queer communities, BIPOC communities. So the fact that I get to work with two charities that push their voices and me with them included, it means the world to me. So being a part of it has just changed my view of streaming because I don't want to be repetitive, but because I want to use my space for good. And obviously we have fun and we fart around and the world's kind of
Yeah.
crazy, but like and at the end of the day though, the people that are part of my community are part of those communities that I'm working with. So I want their voices. I want them to be safe. I want them to feel like they can come into my space and be themselves and not have to worry about anything. I want to help local charities and especially with people in those communities because those communities are not getting funding right now and that's what these charities do. So like it's been really nice being part of that and being part of a bigger cause. And I think that's really changed my view of streaming because before I thought it was just like, okay, I'll play some games and, you know, meet some people. But now it's like, no, I wanna do something about it. I want to do something about all the things I complain about. I want to do something about it. And then I got involved, and I haven't looked back since. I'm doing something for them in a couple weeks, actually.
That's
So,
awesome. For Stream for a Cause, the uh
yeah.
October, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, they have a couple events coming up, and we're doing a cool raid train that's helping out for the National Children Alliance
oh, awesome.
Foundation. So yeah, and they partner with them and they have grants for them, but they're just also just raising money, for their charity as well.
Sure.
So yeah.
I really love Stream for a Cause, and you were one of the people that got me in touch with them and kind of told me their story. And to back up just like a little bit before that, I'm trying to get a proper thought into this. I got into Twitch streaming because I wanted to play games. I didn't know if anything about the work that these nonprofits, these charities have done. All I knew about Twitch was, hey, these are this is a space for you to live stream and play games. That's all it was. Now that this is a space for people to talk about, things that are important to not only them, but like you said, your community. And it's really awesome that you are using your platform to raise awareness. It's really awesome, and I'm really glad that that you're doing this. I
Yeah.
lost my train of thought, but
Oh no. No, I was going to say it's also great because not only do they help different charities and different folks, they also do contribute to the gaming community because they partner with devs that are in support of queer folks, and in Dames for Games case the same queer folks, but also BIPOC folks, because in gaming a lot of queer stories and a lot of BIPOC stories aren't really told, and a lot of these indie studios are doing it right. They're diversifying. They're hiring folks in these categories, and it's very cool to support a small developer anyways, because they're doing it on their own. They are funding their own projects. They want their stories out there. Like,
they don't
yes,
have
AAA
AAA
games are great.
backing. They don't have that.
Right, right. And I always preface to say there's nothing wrong with triple A's, but some of the studios, they're just adding a queer person in a game because they want to sell a game. Like, do they actually care about the person, and like how are they writing the character? You know what I mean? Like, are they thinking about what they're doing rather than just like filling a quota for a video game? And
Right.
again, it's not always the case. I want to preface that. I'm not gonna dog on that, because there are some big studios that do care about those issues and those in that demographic. But the indies, though, the stories are more personable. They're more like, I've played an indie game and I've related so hard to characters that talk about the things that we don't want to talk about in a game, like traumas and biases, and those kind of games that make you feel a little uncomfortable and question your humanity. Like, I feel like those are the ones that hit hard the most, because especially if you're streaming it. So like, if you're playing like a decision game where you're like, do I want to do this or this? That is a question of your moral character.
Yeah.
And they make you think. So not only are you playing a game, but you're also thinking. You're actually thinking of how you are as a person, which is cool. I think that's cool. Some people play video games to like shoot things and turn off their brain, but sometimes I like a little existentialism in my video games, and I feel like, working with those small devs, like that's like important. And those are the kind of stories that are like pushed by Danes for Games,
Right.
and Stream for a Cause, and not to mention Danes for Games, and in particular, they actually uplift voices in that gaming development community, because like sometimes in the behind the scenes work with the gaming devs, sometimes those devs aren't even mentioned. So you got femmes, queer folks, like they're not told, like they're not up rows. They're just kind of like, oh yeah, this person is lesbian and they wrote this game, cool. But like, they're like drawing attention, like, no, they created this game, they helped contribute to this game. See, this is their name. Go follow them. Like, it's nice to have that support. And
Right.
Again, AAA is not all bad, but go on Steam and look up a category. I guarantee you there's small game that you will find that will make you rethink folk stories and how they're told, and then come back to me and tell me, wow, this character in this game really changed my view of something, or this changed my life, or this is my new favorite game. And that's the kind of like what they do. They kind of like not only like help charities, but they also uplift those voices again. So I want to be part of that, and that's why I'm part of that. So they're the
I
reason
love
why I get
that.
hyped. You know, I also ramble, so please tell me if
No,
I need
you're
to stop
doing.
rambling.
No, I was just listening. I was just listening. That's I think I don't have anything else to add to that because you said it so well. Um, just the fact that the indie developers they put more emphasis on things that are needed to be said and aren't said as much. That's perfect, and I love that, and I really love that. Stream for stream for a cause, Dames Dames for games, and all these other groups that you're a part of. They do that, and you know, 10 years ago, I don't think we could think about this happening as big as it is now. We're in we're in a great place for that, but we're also in a very important place that if we're not talking about this, then it could potentially be not spoken of ever again. And it's important, and it's
I think relevant is a good word. I think it is
okay.
relevant. I mean, we're going through the big EA thing right now, and the Sims are in danger because LGBTQIA2 plus folks, like they supported them. Like the Sim community has a big, queer community, a queer following, and now with the new merger, again, EA, big AAA
Sure.
label, who's been trusted. Now the Sim community is going to get sold, hopefully, because there are people that play that game, but if they don't get sold, they don't want to support people who hate, you know what I mean? So
Right.
it just sucks because there are streamers out there that love that game. That is their life. They play The Sims. That is what they do. And now they
Yeah.
have to now they have to rethink of their whole direction or future funding of that said game because of the hateful company and person that bought that game. So like it's nice to have the options of other things like indie games or whatever, but like we're going through that big talk. Like, how far are you going to go to be a sim streamer? How far are you going to be
Right.
to make your
It's not
decisions?
an
It was
easy
the
talk.
whole right, and it's the same thing with the Harry Potter situation when that big Harry Potter game came out, and Twitch was divided because people were still playing the game but still did not support J.K. Rowling. But it's like, well, the funding from that is still going to the Rowling. So it's like it was the whole thing. So like this, it's gonna be another Harry Potter where it's like, oh, you're playing The Sims, but you're a lesbian. Like, how could you do that? You know what I mean? So like
Right.
people will question them. And again, I don't think that people continuing to play the game they're necessarily being problematic. They probably just like want to play the game, but like it's just going forward, giving money to said company. You don't want to do that because then that's just feeling the hate, if that makes sense. So like these are the kind of talks we have to have. They're uncomfortable, but and we have to talk about it level headed. We can't just like block each other or like attack each other. We have to have these conversations like where's the fine line between what's moral and not basically when it comes to streaming. And nobody ever wants to have those conversations. They just want to like go on Twitter and like bash each other. And it's like, well,
Sure.
can we have these conversations? Like I stopped supporting Harry Potter as soon as I found out about J.K. Rowling. I got people unfollowing me because I would not play the Harry Potter game, and my
And
my feelings
that's
were
difficult
ridiculous.
though. It's really
Yeah.
difficult because I imagine the same way as you were a big fan of the books and the movies growing up, or
I was in fourth grade when the Sorcerer and the Stone came out. I was in fourth grade.
I see.
I remember that because one of the older kids brought in the book. I think like a fifth grader, maybe a sixth grader, and I was like, "Ooh, what is that?" And it was really cool. Like, who doesn't like a magical world? You know what I mean? So it's just fast forward, and now you're like, "Oh, well, I care about my friends who are trans more than Harry Potter, so it's fine. Like it was easy for me to drop it, if that makes
Sure.
sense. So not to get too off topic, but it's just it's the same thing with like what you're saying. It's like, the big talks are sometimes the ones that you have to have so you strengthen your community. And it also it's hard because you can be a good person, but playing Harry Potter, I don't know. Like where's there's a disconnect.
I understand that.
Well,
And
you know what I
and
mean?
it's hard to and I imagine for some people it can be difficult to let go of a franchise that you've known for such a long time, like the Sims, like Harry Potter, when for a lot of people it's helped them like go through so many things. But I imagine for a lot of people it's hard to just let go to support a people that are disenfranchised
Yeah.
and are actually being hurt and are in danger. Like we've just been discussing. It's a tough conversation, and it's something that I don't think we ever would have thought of to have to talk about, you know, 15, 20
Right.
years ago.
Yeah, and it's not always serious though. Like indie games are silly and fun. They're out of the box
Right.
ideas sometimes. Like there's a whole sock puppet jury game that's out right now that like a friend of mine just played recently. I played a game recently called Grandma No, where you're literally playing an old lady who's wiggly and knocks over stuff, and there's truly no point to the game except it's funny. So like it's not always serious, but it just, again, the work that these two groups do, like they help, strengthen the communities and get games out there. Trust me, they have silly games too. I'm not saying that they're all serious, but they do just they make you feel like there's more out there than what you're doing. They push your limits, and I feel like I've been pushed by playing some of these games that have the big questions. But again, they have really silly games too, where again it doesn't make sense. You're just like, all right, I'm literally an old lady, and I'm gonna break this and get an achievement because I broke plates while I was doing dishes. Like so it's not just the big stuff. And I don't want you guys to think I'm all like, I'm here to be political and like only talk about serious stuff. But I also am going to acknowledge that if you're being a piece of shit in my chat about, trans folks, I'm going to call you out, and that's the thing. Like you're not only a voice while you're representing a group, but it's also you're on your channel representing what you believe in. So you
Absolutely.
have to be careful what you say. And even if you don't say of a VOD, the people that watched you on the VOD are going to remember what you said. And then they're going to tell somebody else, and they're going to tell somebody else. If you're worried about how you look, then I mean, I never worry because I'm a derp, and you guys, you've seen me. I'm a derp. I'm unapologetic about myself. You
You
come
are a
with
very silly person, and I love it.
and so but yeah, so it's like, but if you're going to be working with somebody, don't just do it for PR. Do it because you want to do it and you believe in the message. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
So I want to talk about switching up your streaming and your branding. I think we talked about this just a little bit before. You're a little bit more true to your roots, like now within the last couple years. Is that right?
hmm
You
Yeah.
started in like 2022, I believe.
Yeah, like regularly streaming. Let's see, my if you look up my actual like active streaming, it'll be 4 years in January.
Okay,
So I'm in the middle of my third year right now,
awesome.
which doesn't feel like it sometimes, but it's starting to set in now that I'm a seasoned streamer.
You are. So
I'm seasoned. I
so
was gonna make a
you
cooking joke, but it didn't work out. Sorry. I
what was that?
was gonna make a cooking joke, and then I'm like, oh, it's not working out. It's fine.
No, I didn't I didn't put two and two together, so that's my fault. I enjoy cooking, so I just didn't. That's my bad. But I do want to talk about, you transitioned a little bit into what you're doing now, and previously it was more.
Like when I first started.
Yeah, You told me a little bit about it. I wasn't there when you had
Yeah.
started, but
Yeah.
you're now more true to your roots, and I want to know how that feels, how that transition has felt for you.
Yeah. So like when I first started streaming, I was only doing it because like my friends at the time, they were like starting to do it too, and then eventually they're like, "You should try it." I'm like, "Okay." I didn't really know what I was doing. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, like I was kind of a Dead by Daylight streamer the first year I streamed. And I played indies, but like I played whatever everyone else was playing, kind of like whatever was popular. So like DVD and Fortnite primarily, and I was console streaming, so that I was like limited to what I played anyways. Um, but after about the first 2 years, kind of falling into like what do I want to do? Like I still played indies, but I didn't play them as frequently because again, console streaming. It wasn't until I got a PC that it expanded like what I do. But going back to what we're talking about, early roots of my life, I was always kind of a people pleaser, um, doing what people wanted to play instead of something I wanted to do. Because unfortunately, at the time, I was in this friend group, or I had certain people in the friend group that would tell me like, "Oh, you can't do that. No one's gonna watch you," or "Oh, you have to do this," or "Oh, you're only doing this for this." And because for a little while I was one of those ooh girls. I thought that's what people wanted, and kind of again goes back to the people pleasing, not having like a true self-worth. Like I come off really confident, but like I have anxiety. I mask it pretty well, but I have coping mechanisms now. I'm much better now, but like when I first started streaming, like I was heightened anxiety. I was always worried about what everyone else thought, and I think that's a big deal when you're a streamer. You need to get a hold of that, because if not, you'll be like me. You spend the first 2 years of your streaming career doing what everyone else wanted to do, and then you look back and you're like, oh man, maybe I didn't want to be a slutty little ew girl. And I'm not putting those girls down. You go, girl. You do what you got to do. But I got exhausted doing that, and I felt like people only saw me for my appearance and not for my what's in the inside and my personality. So one day I just told the people that were like that to fuck off, and I blocked them, and I haven't looked back since, because I got to a point where I'm like, why am I caring about what you want me to stream? I want to play this game. I don't want to play this game. You guys keep making me play this game. And then once I started doing what I want, I was so much happier. And the shift of the community just like switched. And the people that were kind of not like that, they were gone. And it was like the air was cleared. And then people were like, "Oh my God, like we knew you were funny and witty, but like you're smart and you know what you're doing and you have a hold of yourself." And I wanted to be seen more like that than just an entertainer. And again, I'm not putting down people who do that, who have a stream sona, if you want to call it that.
Sure.
I can't always be like, well, thanks for coming in chat. Oh, thanks for the gifted sub. Oh, right. Thank you. Oh, we got an alert here. Like I can't do that 24/7. And that's how I perceived stream for a while. That I thought that's what people wanted. And like you see the partner streamers do stuff like that. And, it'd be great to be partnered and be like that. But like having like 1,000 people in my chat, like, I don't know, like for me, like if it ever does happen, I would have to like have somebody also help me read chat because I like to connect with people. But if I'm missing a message, you know what I mean? Like I'm
Right.
not saying I'm not being like cocky, like, oh yeah, I'll be partnered to have 1,000 people in my chat. But if I was ever partnered and I got to the point where I got popular, I would want to still connect with the community and on the level I have now as best as I can. So like when I
Right.
was shifting to that, I found my love of indies and playing the smaller games because I felt like the people that wanted to take the time to look at a small game and not like Valorant or the top 5 popular Twitch games right now, I can talk to people more and feel more comfortable and be more like a hangout than like a business transaction. Like, oh, I don't know, I'm not gonna talk to you unless you give me a sub. Like, and I don't like people that do that. So it's like, but it's just been this journey of finding like what niche, if you want to put me under a box, like what do I want? But then I woke up and I'm like, I don't want to be a niche. I want to play what I want. And that's how I got back to my indie and my horrors. I love small games. I love horror games. I'm a horror fanatic, and it's been a journey, and I'm I get people in my inbox sometimes like, let me help you get partner. I'm like, what? What? Have you seen how Twitch is right now with the viewers? Like, come on. Like, it's like, I don't care. If it happens, it happens. Like, I'm always going to be on a partner push, but if it happens, it happens. But I'm not going to play games anymore that I don't want to play.
It's
So,
it's really nice to hear that because I understand completely the fact that you didn't know exactly what you were doing and what you actually wanted for yourself, but you figured that out. It's really awesome that you found the place where you wanted to get to. It's hard for people sometimes to get out of a place where they know that they're going to like get viewers or where it's easy to just make content, whatever it is, the popular thing. But you are making something. You've made something out of yourself. You carved something out of your own space, and you've made it yours. And there's nobody else on Twitch that streams like you. There's nobody else that does it the same way that you do it. I've watched other streams, and yours is very, very unique, and it's open. It's a welcoming place. That's the word.
Like, aw, thank you.
It really is.
We try really hard. I literally wouldn't be anywhere without my community. Like, I will always, and they, and like, they are so nice. Like, everybody, they'll sit there and they'll just say the nicest things about me. But like, at the end of the day, I would not be there without anybody that is in my community, because like there are days when, and I feel like that's where the disconnect happens, because once you start, not saying all streamers are like this, but there are some streamers that once they hit a certain milestone, so let's say partner, it's like, woo, I'm partner. But like, it's different. I can't explain it. It's a little different. I've been in, I've seen it happen a few times where they kind of just change their mindset. And that's why I'm so afraid of being partner, because I don't want to get that mindset. I'm so self-aware that I don't want to forget about my community, that I constantly remind myself that, like, if you're ever going to get to that level, please remember the little people. Remember the people that helped you get there. And I'm not saying everyone does that, but there is a disconnect sometimes with some streamers when they start getting some attention and they forget, like, you should be kind to your community because they're the ones that got you there. And that's what I try to do. I also I'm very close with my community. I'm a personal friends with almost everybody in my community for the most part. So I think if I ever got any bigger, I would miss that, because it would be hard to keep up with people the more people you have,
Right. Well, it's important to you. It's important.
I constantly like remind them. I'm like, guys, like, you literally help fund my PC. Guys, you literally help fund a lot of my cosplays. Guys, you are here watching me. Like, you are the reason why I'm here. Please don't give me compliments. Let me give you guys compliments. So whenever people are in chat and we shout out everybody, they're like, you don't have to do that. I'm like, no, we have to. Like I also love mentoring. I love, like, I'm no expert streamer by any means, but like, I wish that I had the support when I first started, when that I give people now.
Absolutely.
I've helped some of my friends like start streaming, and with between me and our community, like posting like when this person's on and helping them get affiliated, like that's like what we strive to do. And I just never thought like we would have what we have now. So hearing you say that, I'm glad that comes off of that, like, as like a newer person.
It really does, though. So I know that there are a lot of people out there on Twitch, in Discord, that have big communities, and they are personable people who still do their best to like connect with their community. But I've seen you interact, and the way that you do it, it's obvious that you care so much about your community, because without them, there wouldn't be a stream.
For reals.
I mean,
It freaks me out. It freaks me out sometimes. I'm like, why are you guys still here?
because we
Like,
like you, because you're awesome.
and
I
that's the imposter syndrome sometimes too. And you probably have had it. I feel like every streamer's had it, some kind of imposter syndrome. Because like your
absolutely.
community is also, I know we keep talking about me, but like your community is like the same way. Like I feel like I'm new. I don't always get to hop in your stream, but when I do, everyone's like, "Hey, what's up?" Blah blah blah. And it's and that's again another community that I love so much as you. Like I like yours as well. It's the same vibe. So I'm like, oh, Soup and I are gonna be friends. I got this.
I
Like,
I mean, being community or oriented, streamers, content creators, it's important to me because I know that there is so much content out there on not just Twitch, not just YouTube, but any other social media platform, and they chose to like interact with me for the 10 seconds that it took to come in, say hi, I'm lurking, but hi, it's good to see you. Like that in and of itself means so much to me that they matter to me very much, and like without that little interaction, they would just be there, but they make up a piece of the streamer community puzzle that makes it so beautiful. I'm trying to it's so hard to put into words because of how
and I just want to really quickly. I'm sorry to interrupt the process. I'm not saying all partner streamers are like this. And by the way, I've ran into like those kind of people that just don't take the time to interact, and it makes me like, okay, so what? Like, so I think like a part of me is just like where I'm at right now. I've had the bad side too much. So, but I have to preface, I'm not saying all. I know some amazing partner streamers that are doing
I do
exactly what you're
too.
describing, you
Absolutely.
know. But unfortunately, the way it balances, you have to go through a sea of the other kind of partner streamers to find the ones that actually take the time to interact with the community. It doesn't have to be like a whole conversation, just like a little acknowledgement, you know what I mean? Like, hey,
Absolutely.
thanks for coming in, thanks, blah, blah, like, and that does make a difference. I know I follow people based on that as well, just because, like, it's hard. You don't want to be just a number sometimes. Sometimes you just want to be like, hey, they know my username or something.
Right. It just gonna reiterate though, just the community is super important in it, and the community is a reflection on the streamer itself in so many ways. And I feel like
Mhm.
in your case, it is, if I had to grade it, it would be an A plus. Like it would be just a wonderful community that there's so much love, there's so much appreciation, and there's respect for each other, no matter like what their background is. You are who you are. We accept you, and we care about you in this community. And that's how I felt when I came into your community. I had seen you like once or twice, and then I interacted with you a couple times, and it was like it just clicked. Like I can't think of a single moment when I started like going into your community or talking to you, but it just kind of happened, and it felt natural. It felt
We
normal, and it was just fun. It was great.
we do joke that we are the land of misfit toys because we're all a little broken. We are all a little broken in some way, but we all are compliments of each other. That
Absolutely.
and we work through like those rough days, and what I think like one of my favorite things about what you're saying and what I just said is that there are some people that have come into the community and they are so shy, not really like into like talking a lot, but after staying around, at one point something just happens and it's like, whoa, quiet kids talking. What's going on? Hi, don't move. They're talking. Don't scare them away. Like, and now like those quieter people have formed friendships, and one of the things that I take very good pride with is the way that my amazing mods are, and how people in my community, I don't have to be around. So like I cannot be on Discord for a day, and it still happen with conversation and interactions and stuff. And I was hoping to never be a community like have a Discord or have a community where people only interact if I'm in the same room.
Sure.
But like but like people form friendships, they do stuff, they chat when I'm not around. That means I did a good job. That means that people are connecting and doing, all the fun stuff. Like I don't have to be around, because I have been in some communities where that's the case. Like it's kind of quiet, and then as soon as like the owner of the Discord or the community comes back, then it's chatty and then it dies. So I don't.
Right.
And so like I was trying my hardest. So I'm like, okay, guys, I hope you guys make friends. Everybody make friends. And then like now we have a group of people that like got into TTRPG stuff, and now like Hampod, who's Rain, and they basically started a TTRPG community in my Discord.
That is
And
so
they
awesome.
yeah, and so now they do like vampire, and they do other things, and they also write TTRPGs, and now they're doing stuff together. And then they have like a game jam, and so now I have like four friends that are writing a TTRPG together, and I never had that before. But the one person that came in, I mentioned that everybody talks about wanting this one thing, never happened. Boom, he made it happen, or they made it happen. And for example, now we have movie nights. Now it's so cool to be able to be like, yeah, I'm the common denominator, but you guys are still doing stuff. And it's so cool. Like
I mean,
that's what I take pride in the most of having our Discord, and the way like our community works together, is that they're forming friendships, and even relationships. There are some people that are dating, so it's like really cute.
I love that. I mean, that's really the epitome of a community, and I think you're like a perfect example of what a community should look like. It's really inspiring to watch and follow and also be a part of. And I'm
Yeah.
really happy for you too. You've
Oh,
you've
thanks.
you've made something really amazing through being a part of Twitch streaming and everything else.
Yeah, thank you. I
Of
think the
course.
guild really helped too, being part of the guild system on Twitch. That kind of changed my whole view on Twitch as well.
Oh, good. You're part of how many guilds are you a part of on
Um,
Twitch?
just the women's club,
Okay.
or the women's club, the women's guild, whatever you want to call it. It's been really rewarding this year, and I can talk like forever about it, and I won't bore you with the details. But going
I'm not
back to being
bored.
some,
I'm not
no,
bored
I
at
know.
all.
You have to realize this is also like the most compliments within like a small amount of time. So part of my body's like, wait a second, wait, draw the attention somewhere else. No, but no, but like even like I know what I said. Like I know I stressed out a little bit about like the partners that are like the icky side, but like the guild kind of helped me rethink the views of Twitch, and that, you
Sure.
know what, Twitch may have an icky capitalist side at times, but like the guilds and the community and the things that they do, even the creator club, um, I feel like that part of Twitch is my favorite part of Twitch, because that shows that they care about the streamer. And I've seen so many partners, I've seen so many strong streamers in this community, and they've all been inspiring. And then like I wanted to be a part of that. So now I've been doing a lot of collabs with people I don't think I've ever would have met if it wasn't for the guild. And I think that gave me like the extra oomph in 2025. And that's why like I feel okay doing as much as I'm doing right now, because it's giving me inspiration and motivation and a goal to go for, you know,
That's
not wanting
awesome.
to just not just wanting to stick in my little bubble, but I want to do something bigger, and again, more for the community. And who knows, like expanding to other streamers, you meet other different types of people that your other community members may like to or relate to, so that you're also expanding that bubble a bit more.
I think
But
one of the greatest things about Twitch is how much of a Venn diagram you can make through like the entire
oh
Twitch
yeah.
space.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely, I agree on that.
we share so many people that like in the Venn diagram, like you think about it and like it's so hard to not like remember, oh, I saw this person in this person's stream, but I saw them in the other person's stream, and they were part of my stream, and it's become a really good community oriented space for a lot of people. I am
Hmm.
I am proud and I'm also humbled to be where I am now, where I can go into, all these people's streams and they're all in interconnected. They're all welcoming, and it's just a space where I know I'm not going to get, you know, nervous speaking to somebody. And you can probably tell now, since we've talked so much, I have a speech impediment, and it's a little bit difficult for me sometimes to get over a sentence, a phrase, or I'll elongate a certain vowel,
Mhm.
and I'll know about it. I will hear it in my brain, and I'm aware of it, but I can't get out of that loop. Being in the Twitch space, streaming on Twitch, and also being in these people's, spaces, it's become it's rewarding to, make friends this way, become collaborators and community members in so many amazing people's, spaces.
Well, and that's the importance of these Twitch clubs and these guilds and everything,
Yeah,
because that connects people to people who have something, similar, or, like, whenever they do the raid trains for, I don't remember what month it is. Like, for example, um like the disability awareness month, and it's like streamers that have different disabilities, and
sure.
how they stream and they talk about it and they raise awareness to it. Like, that's very important, because sometimes people might be disabled in some way, and they think, oh, I can't stream. But then they see somebody who has something similar, and they're like, oh my gosh, they're streaming, I can stream, or I feel included, or you know what I mean. So, like, it's very good to
Absolutely.
have, like, they have all, like, the Latin Guild and the Pride Guild, and all this stuff matters. Like, people
It really
who
does.
are of the mindset of not you and I don't understand how important inclusiveness and diversity is, because we're all different. No matter, at the end of the day, we're all different. We all have
Absolutely.
something going on in our lives. We all have something going on that, we don't talk about enough. But if somebody feels so alone and they don't see that, then yeah, they're going to have a hard life, because they're going to think like, oh, everyone's, doesn't understand how I feel. But then they're, again, seeing a streamer that has something similar to you, it makes a world of difference. And
It absolutely
I'm sure,
does.
you know what I mean? So, like, it's been great seeing all kinds of friends, like, do these streams for charity, and or even just, like, a talk about, like, hey, I have this, and this is how I live my life. And if you think you can't do it, I'm going to show you that you can. We need that positivity, and Twitch is definitely killing it in that department.
Absolutely.
I feel like especially in 2025, it's been very cool to see the evolution of the front page being all these different kinds of creators, and not just like the same type of person over and over and over.
They've been expanding quite a bit since, like,
Hmm.
my coming back to streaming. It has been vastly different than when I started in 2021, and it's such an amazing thing to see. I think it's important to be critical of the space that you're in, to make sure that, you know we're doing the right thing,
Yeah.
in Twitch, uh, and be aware of what they're doing, behind the scenes. Big, um, there's so much good that's come out of the the Twitch space, and
I, I
it
think they're trying to keep them in check. That's why. And I don't know if you do it. Do you do those streamer surveys they send out? I think,
I do every once in a while. I don't get all of them, or I don't see all of
yeah.
them, but I do them.
Yeah, I think they're actually listening to those surveys. I do them every time I get one. And shortly after, whatever that topic is in that survey either comes to fruition, or they like talk about it even more. So, like, I think they're finally, like, listening to streamers. I think that's the big part of it. Yeah, Amazon, evil, it sucks. But I think that Twitch is trying to hang on to as much of the humanity part of their site as much as they can, which is why they have all these things that, diversifying. I wasn't on in
Absolutely.
2021, so I will take your word for it. Um,
I mean, it was
but
for me getting on. It was just like we were talking about, before, when we just started. For me, I thought it was just, streaming. It was just us playing games for other people. There was nothing else really going on with it. You know, with all of its problems, I think, you know, Twitch is in a really great place now. Like you said, listening to the community. I also wanted to ask: are you in any of the Twitch creator clubs specifically? Have you like seen any that
Yeah,
attract you?
as much as I haven't lately because the end of summer was got really busy. But I'm in the IRL club because I started doing those hiking streams over the
Yeah,
summer. So, but unfortunately, I've been busy and also the weather's changing. So I don't know if I'll be able to get out as much, but I do like to do crafting streams, and I haven't done it in a while, but I used to do cooking streams for a little bit. And so I thought, oh, I'll join the Creators Club. I'll see what they got going on, and I, and it's been I haven't actually checked in a little bit because it's been a very busy early fall, but
I understand
it
completely.
was it's very cool to see like better ways to stream when you're on your phone, because that's a big one. Like that was I I had to find out because like not to be mean to Twitch, but the app on the mobile app,
It's not
it's
the
not the
best.
best. It's
It's not the
not the
best.
best. Like
Love
I
Twitch
will
for the
watch
opportunity to have it, but
right. The connectivity, even though you have full service and it's reliable, and you still see the skips in the VOD. So I've had to like learn like what other clients to use, and
sure.
the creator clubs has been great for that because then I'll just like see what everyone else is using, and then what equipment I should be getting if
Mhm.
like to enhance that. But like not everybody can buy like a second camera or something, so you have to kind of like figure out what tools you have. So it's been really rewarding to see that. But yeah, I joined the IRL club initially for that reason. So because I wanted to be a part-time IRL streamer, or try to like work my way towards that,
Sure.
because hiking is a big deal for me, and I wanted to be able to like every now and then on a trail I know really well and I have reliable service, because some of the trails out here actually have service. I can take people every now and then, like, hey guys, we're going here, come on a walk with me. So it's been nice to have that. I just haven't done anything IRL in a while because it's just been kind of chaotic. But yeah,
Sure.
no, I did join it. I did join it, the IRL club.
That's awesome. I want
Yeah.
to back up just a little bit because you were talking about asking questions to different people that are in like the same space that do similar things in
Yeah.
IRL. One thing that I've noticed at least within the last year and a half or so is people are gatekeeping a little bit less on like
Yes.
equipment, and it's like a big thing to ask, or it was a big thing, to ask what you use, what you do, because a lot of us could see each other as like competition,
Competition.
but really at least where I am now and where we are now, I feel like it's just more of a community, and when we're all we're all in this together. We're not
Yeah.
trying to compete really that much with each other, and it's becoming more of like, hey, I saw that you did this. I don't know how to do that. I would love to get your advice if you're available. And I've asked that question to multiple like creator club members, and it's always been met with like an immediate yes, or I don't remember how, but I will look it up and I will get back to you. It's never been like a slight towards me, or been a like a well kept secret, like how to you know create a better environment for your stream space. And I feel like
Yeah.
it was like, or it has been like that in the past, and it's getting more towards it's a more open space, and that information is more readily available to you in these certain spaces. Does that kind of
Yeah.
make
And I was just
sense?
thinking, I think I've only been there, I think I got into it after I got back from PAX. So I've only been in it for a few months, but I haven't been active in a little bit, like a month. I haven't actually like really like gone too much in the Discord because I've been doing other
Sure.
things. But now that you said that, like that is true. Like I never saw anybody who, would gatekeep their equipment, because in the end, like, you can buy the equipment, but like unless you learn how to use it, like it's not
Right.
really,
It,
competition. And we're all using the same, like, Elgato, uh HyperX. We're all using all the same stuff generally. So it's
yeah.
like it's very silly to feel like that. You know what I mean?
And I mentioned that like more in general too with the greater clubs. I definitely say that a lot less, but like, it's been more in a spirit of like community, in the spirit
Yeah.
of friendship and community rather than competition, if that makes
I think it's
sense.
also I think it's also because gaming has also shifted a bit. It's been more community like, I think, in the last few years with the games coming out and the whole vibe. And we all want to kind of escape from the world right now. So I think we're all
Hmm.
just kind of finding common ground with gaming, and, you know, helping someone out with a camera or a mic or some program to, fix their soundboard or something. Um, that's the little bit of humanity that is still in the world.
Yeah,
And nerds know how to do it right. Like, I think us nerds have been always about community, and not what in the past, like, we're weird and stuff. You know what? We like weird. Bring
we
your
do.
weird over here on
We are
Twitch.
all weirdos here.
If you can think of a niche you like, I guarantee you there's got to be someone on Twitch. As long as it's not, OF related type of content, you could probably find
Right. Within
somebody.
TOS, you can find so much.
Right, right. Like, if you're into an obscure game from 1978 because of X, Y, and Z, I bet you there's a retro streamer right now playing said game. Like,
Absolutely.
and I feel like Twitch is very much like that now. Like, there's so many niches, and there are so many nerds out there that they're finally like, you know what? It's fine. Not everyone's trying to be a full-time streamer. Not everyone's trying to, make their 8 to 5 this job. Some people just do it to relax. And I guarantee you that someone playing whatever game. I like Banjo Kazooie. I can type Banjo Kazooie right now, and I bet you there's like 100,000 streamers playing Banjo Kazooie right now. That's my favorite N64 game.
I love that so much.
Just as an example. But I think you're right. I think a lot of it is, people are finding community more important than anything else at the moment, because that's what we need right now. Like, I guarantee you that we have probably been part of somebody's mental health and, regime. Like, I'm gonna go watch
Absolutely.
my favorite streamer. Oh, Soup's on. Soup makes me happy. I'm gonna watch Soup till I fall asleep, or, stuff like that. So you always have to remember, like, if you think you're not doing anything, you're probably someone's favorite streamer, and they lurk, or they don't want to talk because they don't want to. But, like, knowing you're probably making somebody's day a lot better, so just keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that's coming up in like the next few weeks that you're doing that you're excited about?
Everything.
Everything. Oh,
Everything.
list them from top to bottom. I want to hear everything.
You want to
No,
hear everything? All
I
right,
do.
all right. Let me pull up my calendar here. I'm gonna just pull up my calendar. kind of kidding. Well, yeah, we have lots of things going on. This is the most booked I've been in a month, probably since PAX weekend. I feel like I'm shoving a PAX weekend into a month here, because
Oh my gosh, that's so
tomorrow
much.
I just did a collab with about Little Nightmares 3. That was uh those VODs are up if you guys want to go watch it.
It was
Do
so
it.
cute.
It's
I
great.
loved
It's great. It
watching
was
that.
so fun. But aside from this, you are part of that agenda this week. So thank you again for inviting me.
Of course.
Actually, tomorrow, by the time this probably goes up, I'm playing Faz tomorrow. I'm part of the Twitch FOMO raid train, which is through the guilds. There is everyone has FOMO because we're not at TwitchCon. So a couple of people put this raid train together, so we're all going to be doing, like, things like cons. Like, we're going to have, like, lots of community games. Some people are doing podcast type talks and discussions, because, like, at TwitchCon you go to a panel. Get it? Kind of get what we're going
Yeah, I
here.
get that.
Yeah, so we're doing it. That starts the 17th, but I'm going to be on a podcast talking about niches. So if you want to hear me yap some more, come visit us on the Friday the 17th. I'll post it on my socials. You'll see. I will also be on that raid train. We are doing DBD, and I will be in cosplay, and I'm playing with chat because I want to I wanted to pay an homage to me for starting out on Twitch and how much the DVD community means to me. And as much as I talk shit about how the game is annoying sometimes, I met a lot of my first people on Twitch through DVDs. So if it wasn't for me actually streaming it and playing it and getting to know people, I probably wouldn't have continued streaming. So I'm going to dress up as Steve from Stranger Things.
You're
And
dressing as Steve? Oh my gosh.
I'm doing Steve. We'll probably do Steve lobbies, but it's a 2-hour window. And I have a giveaway for from DLC. So it's going to be fun. I'm doing Eyes of Hellfire, which Blumhouse, like, my current goal is to get enough of the requirements because I want to be a Blumhouse creator so bad.
That's awesome.
So bad. I haven't talked about it, but like I love their games. Every game has come out that's been fantastic. I just played a demo, and you guys should play it, called Sleep Awake. It has Robin Fink, excuse me, from 9 Inch Nails, and Corey Davis, who's the game developer who's running Eyes Out Studios. Go play it. Just go play the demo. Trust me, it's so good. But Eyes of Hellfire is a cool TTRPG deck builder game that they made that's coming out. I just agreed to do some more repo. We're going to be doing a raid train for Stream for a Cause the following week, in which I will be doing a Halloween party. What else? Oh my God, what else is there going? There's so much going on. Come to my channel and come see. We're playing so many good games. But yeah, and then November will happen, and it'll be back to business as normal. So chaos and carnage with
I'm excited
more horror
for that.
games.
I'm excited for the chaos and carnage for sure.
I mean, there's chaos. There's chaos every day, and we're doing all kinds of horror games. But besides that, cosplay, hopefully a little bit more hiking. I make stuff on TikTok. I'm still on there. Who knows what's going to happen with it? But
sure.
As content creators, we have to keep going and surviving when the spaces we can, I guess.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I as always, you are a delight. And congratulations on your maiden voyage on this podcast, by the way.
You.
Looking forward to seeing more people.
Thank you for being my first host, or my first guest. I appreciate it.
By the amount I talked, I don't know.
No, you were amazing. Well, thank you so much. We will talk to you soon.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the first episode of the Chew on This podcast featuring Indiebyrd. Please go take a look at her socials. I'll be linking them below and in the appropriate spots on the place that you are listening to this. I will have an episode again soon. We have a few people lined up that I'm really excited to talk to. I appreciate all of you for listening. Please like, subscribe, follow, share, repost, etc., so more people can see this and hopefully get more people involved in this podcast. Thank you so much. See you later.